Guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I am going to be explaining to you all about brush care. I feel like this is something that isn't talked about enough, but brush care and keeping it clean is just so important. It's one of the biggest parts in the whole beauty world. So I do have a clip of me washing brushes, what I use to wash my brushes, and how I take care of them and everything. A couple things I did want to say before the clip was, one, you want to use just a daily brush cleaner after every single use of using your brushes. One, to remove the excess product, and two, to remove the bacteria. Second, you want to at least clean your brushes once a week. If you do your makeup every day, I suggest that you clean your brushes once a week. But if you're not an everyday person, you just kind of do your makeup every few days or something, I would clean your brushes bi-weekly. So and when I say like clean your brushes, I mean like a deep clean where you get all of the product out and everything. Number three, you want to dry your brushes upside down because you don't want the glue to loosen. Well, you don't want the glue to kind of get loosened because the water, when it drips down, if you just like lay them down, then the water kind of breaks down the glue and then your brushes can break quicker. Usually a brush should last you about a year for daily use, but for sporadically use, then I would say a year and a half to 2 years. My brushes have lasted me about 2 years, and it is almost time for me to get some new ones. So it's good to replace your brushes every now and then because, you know, bristles might fall out, and it's just, it's a good thing to do if you want to have like just the ample. There are two different types of brushes. There are the synthetic brushes, and then there's the brushes that it's like half real hair and I think it's like boar hair or something like that. Those are the two brushes that I know of. I'm sure there are other ones that companies do make, but those are the ones that I know of. Now, for care, it's pretty much the exact same for both brushes. You don't have to be as gentle with the synthetic brushes. I do find that the ones with real hair do shed a lot, so I am very gentle when cleaning them. I will explain that in the clip because I do have a couple of real brushes with like boar hair and everything that I got from NARS because that's what they do use, but then the rest of my brushes are synthetic. I do use quite a few different products to clean my brushes. I'm actually totally out of it, so I need to get more, but I do always have a bottle of the Sephora brush cleaner. Any sort of brush cleaner with a little bit of alcohol in it is really good for sanitizing your brushes in between uses. It removes excess product from your brushes and it sanitizes your brushes so that you're not getting bacteria on your face every time you apply your makeup. So I do use that, and then I also use dish soap, I do use the dish detergent or just like the Ajax, that kind of stuff, and then I do use olive oil. I mix that together and that's what I use to clean my brushes. I do have a clip of that you will see. And then I also use a spa glove because you can use your hands, but the different textures in the spa glove is really good for getting everything out of your brush. But anyway, so that is everything that I want to touch base on. I'm going to roll to the clip. You might hear me repeat a couple of things because I do explain it in depth on a voiceover for the clip that's coming up. But yeah, so I hope you enjoy this clip and I will see you guys at the end. Starting out with my dirty brushes, I use Ajax and I also use olive oil, and then I use my Sigma Spa brush cleaner glove. I start out with my Ajax and I don't measure out a specific amount. I just kind of eyeball it however much I think I need depending on how dirty my brushes are. And I start out with this and I squirt some into my little cleaning glass, which is also my brush holder. So, you know, kill two birds with one stone and clean my brush holder. Then I go in with the olive oil, and like I said, I don't measure it out, but I do eyeball it. You want to use the same amount of olive oil as you do the dish detergent because you want your brushes to remain soft, but you also want them to get cleaned. Then what I do is I just take this mixture and I stir it together. Sometimes I'll use a brush to stir it, and sometimes I'll just swirl it around like this. Then I will just take my brush. I always start out with my foundation brush, which is always the most dirty, and I swirl it around. And this is how I clean every single brush. Once I have my brush all, I guess, doused in the concoction, I will make sure the water is a good temperature. You don't want it to be too hot or too cold. and I take my spa glove and I begin to clean my brush. I swirl it around in circles and I just make sure I get all the gunk out. And you can kind of tell when it's clean or not because the water will become more and more clear as you rinse your brush out. The different textures on this glove are meant for different types of brushes. This side of the spa glove is meant for face brushes. The center part is for cleaning, the top part is for rinsing, and what I'm doing right there is just squeegeeing the water out. I will not be showing you how I clean every single brush because it does get very repetitive, but I am showing you just a couple of brushes so that you get an idea of how I do go about cleaning my brushes. These are the face brushes and I will be going on to the eyes. I always do the face brushes first because they are the most dirty and the most tedious to work on. These next two brushes are my boar hair brushes, so it's not synthetic, so I am a lot more gentle when brushing. You can't really tell on camera, but I'm definitely not pressing as hard and I'm swirling it around slower. You really don't want to be too harsh with real hair brushes or boar hair because they do tend to shed a lot and they tend to be more expensive, and you don't want to waste that money just by breaking the brush. So like I said, I am being a lot more careful. I'm just dabbing the water off instead of just, straining the water off. Once I've finished with all my face brushes, I do rinse out the mixture and get my little container all cleaned up to move on to my eye brushes. I just do this for extra cleanliness and because the water has already gotten dirty and you don't want to wash brushes with dirty water. Once my container is clean, I do create a new mixture. I don't need as much for my eye brushes because they are smaller and they're never as dirty as my face brushes. When cleaning the eye brushes, I do flip my spa glove over because it does a face side and an eye side. The difference is just the textures. The textures on the eye brush side are a little bit closer together and they're just a little different for a more, I guess, defined clean. That's the only word I can think of to explain that. With my eye brushes, I will also sometimes go with two brushes just to make the process go by quicker because I have a ton of eye brushes and at that point it's a lot easier to hold two brushes, and like I said, they're just not as dirty as the face brushes. Okay, so then when I'm done, I will just place my brushes upside down so that the water can drain out and not loosen the glue, as I have said before, because you want your brushes to last as long as possible. My clip for taking care of brushes. That is how I clean my brushes. I do it on a weekly to bi-weekly basis depending on how much I did my makeup that week, but I do make sure I keep them clean. There are many methods to cleaning brushes. That is just how I do it. For me, I find it to be the fastest. Some people use baby shampoo and I used to do that, but I found it would take so long to get everything out. And so I did some research and I found that this works best for me because I'm really impatient. I hate standing there. So I cut it down from like an hour to about half hour. Yeah, that's how I do it. And I mean, if you like the way you do it, then continue to do that. If this video was helpful, let me know. I really want to help you guys out. So that is me for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, give it a big old thumbs up and comment down below. Also hit subscribe if you did enjoy this because I would very much appreciate that, and then you don't miss any more of my videos. Anyways, so I hope you guys had a wonderful Memorial Day weekend and I will see you in my next video. Bye bye.